today, December 9th, 2013. We are 10:46 morning of Buenos Aires this Monday. I want to set a testimony over clear about what really happens here and what really it is. The whole we are going through. I were baptized in a very special way because of my God can make a lot of things, Yahweh. And I belong to Him forever. Happened the reality that a lot of things were moving. And a lot of victims for more happened. We were yesterday with my mother, which is really harassable. She is really out of herself with a very delicate condition, misunderstanding and taking everything so twistly, like my sisters, and thinking that everything gotta be about them ways and squaring everything about whatever they do say. That I gotta be like they say because of if I am not, I gotta be a demon. The abductive, inductive, conductive ways of Sodoma and Cuerpo Médico Forense, Forensics Corps of Argentina with them bodies, medical consuls of the government of the city of Buenos Aires and Republic of Argentina, which made them also to my friends. Everything which is out of them conceptuation about that I gotta do or being gotta be demons. Well, we went yesterday, Sunday, to movies. We went to see a movie which were called here in Buenos Aires, in Argentina, or at least in Latin America, like I knew, like The Suspicious. And it's a very movie with a very starring, with a very special people, and we're called actually prisoners. Very fine movie, very good movie. In a very regular, like we've seen a lot of movies like this, argument, but an amazing starring. The reality were, which we after movies went for a walk. And in the walk we bought some regular pizza in a very cheap place. Because of we're in the middle of the way and we thought that were good. Well, suddenly we bought it, that's it. And while waiting for the pizza to be given to me, just my mother were in a Chinese store to watching for Christmas lights or something. And suddenly she were inside and I expect after pizza receiving, she to come out. And in the meantime this happened, there were a person which were out of his mind. And were truly bad and truly making whack things and in a very condition which needed a very help, but not being lobotomized, needing help, which here in Argentina normally doesn't give. But lobotomizes and murders people because of psychiatry and leftist medicine in Argentina is a very human meat market, especially for Sodoma and Cristina Kirchner and Aníbal Fernández. Well, suddenly happened the reality that this man started making worse things, started to behave really bad and cut up on a very engine cover of a car in the middle of the Rivadavia Avenue, almost Nazca Avenue intersection here in Buenos Aires, and made them forced the driver to stop the vehicle and make him somehow go out of the car, go away, and ran and started to hitting things in the middle of the street and insulting people and making all kind of things. And I said, I don't want this one up on me. I don't want this to be near after my experience of the last year, this disgusting degenerate of praying and Sodoma Federal Police of Argentina, to the making the damages to me and to attacking me in the middle of the street. I said, I don't want this again. And suddenly came a bus which will near us, and my mother were with the people inside of the store like stupid watching that whole freak show. And suddenly I said to my mother, come over, here's a bus. And I said to the driver, can you wait please? And whenever my mother tried to pass and the stupid people never let her pass, the stupid driver just leave and set us there, and I were nervous and I were bad. Suddenly happened the reality which we had to awaiting, and we awaited for another bus of the same liner which delivered us into the nearest stop to come to the place we're living in Buenos Aires. So suddenly happened. In the meantime, we went to the movies. Guillermo Horacio Brains in the pardon for some people which were victimized all of the time, with Aníbal Basali and this degenerates because of our degeneration, Sebastián Esperanza, Jorge Garcia, Norma Napoli, and this disgusting Guillermo Horacio Brain, with a lot of other like Fabián Quiroz, making the whole degeneration about my person saying things like I will be robbing and making up any kind of a shit and accomplishing any kind of a degenerate with a little bit of powers in the government and a little money in the pocket and some chunky stuff will ever say and testifying any kind of an invented crap that they will ever say. And asking to Sodoma Federal of them to putting us under arrest and making up more forged case in Argentina about that all. Saying that while my mother robbed, I were awaiting like jingle bells, jingle thief the way, right? So suddenly it were the disgusting shit that were only yesterday Sunday working on this to making arrests today, saying that I do not move from my place because if I had to be reinternated as well. The reality here is that Sodoma Queen Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner, this disgusting prostitute, with the disgusting prostitute Sodomaki Aníbal Fernandez giving the orders to reinternate me, saying in writing specifically to reinternate me until the government to do what the government had to do. In a way like extreme care, for there I could do nothing and not even keep a cell phone, and if I will ever have it to be stolen from me. So suddenly happened the reality, not only this. We were in a very condition and we are in a very other. And after this all, this disgusting prostitute and Sodomaki, abominable cycles, both of them, with them bodies, find out that everything were discovered. So we're fired, the whole of the forensics corps, the whole of the medical councils, of the government of the Buenos Aires, of the city of Buenos Aires and armed forces, but for a while which were under threat for the murder making on them, and about the circumstances of the reality that also Kirchners of the judicial powers of Argentina were fired as well, and saying that if they try anything, they will be put in a chain, which they gotta be, or better, let's make in capital, because of our so vermin, so abomination, and has so bodies, like it's better capital. We eliminate them under the rage. So the reality were that started bribing all over with the brains, the generates, which are permanently instigating for the making damages to me and my people, and making the engine of the instigation for the making the degeneration. And suddenly happened that everybody were bribed. Everybody caught $1,000 in the pocket for the keep on making the same shit to me, and to us all, and to everything to keep like the same. Like normal here in Kirchner, nation of Argentina, shit, and Sodoma, Ejército Argentino, which are all the same generation. With the bodies of armed forces Argentina, the whole of the head, but so few, are the same damn shit, abominable. And suddenly happened the reality that I got so violent, because of I knew this soul. And at this day, 1,841 men were murdered and 1,206 women were murdered too. For they keep on making the same and replace them by degenerate milicas argentinas. To keep on making the same abomination. And do you know what? There happened a lot of things. Came representatives of US and G20, United Nations, and also from International Criminal Court and also from World Health Organization, to the telling this disgusting mess of a shit of hell, to stop making this. And what were all this about in the model of Kirchner, which I'm going to explain you. The reality were that they were threatened to be murdered and bribed, like to say, keep the money and shut up and do what we say to you, everything's going to be okay. Let us do what we gotta do and you keep on your way and go to have a vacation. And they are under threat, and they says they are not going to escape, they are not going to run from this country. And suddenly happened the reality of this soul, which this were also implied in the saying, annulled my Google Plus, and not only my Google Plus, but also this Pantomicanes, saying that everything were robbed, because of they says I robbed everything, and everything to be robbed, sorry, my mistake, by me, and forged criminal accounts, and also offensive to raising my testimony. Easy cake, nothing to say. My reality that I show every day. And suddenly happened the other reality that with this, while forges, there is the model of the Cristina Kirchner and Aníbal Fernández and Néstor Kirchner and the generation with them for this country and for the world. Everybody has a bill for the govern and reigning in the world. A ticket way on. But the generation that pretends to be Il Presidente del Mundo are all 666 in pardon for a lot of victims. And really a lot. So suddenly happened that the model of Néstor Kirchner and Cristina Kirchner were at the first making a witches manipulative for the mass and for the unchecked persons to be contentiously manipulating in the whole institution of the government and the whole of the police, for there no one to escape and nothing to be off of the control. And with this, the misinforming or disinforming the people and making people with the thought of Osvaldo Carnival and Guillermo Raceprain, positive thought, the positive thought that makes you forward in the well of your life. You don't hear nothing that you don't have to hear. You forward like a damn goddamn ship for they to take you and cut your head up and use you like a piece of a meat for them disgusting Sodoma fleshes inside of you and filling you of the disgusting shit of a seed and making you a sacrifice. You don't hear nothing. You are misinformed from everything and anything. You don't worry, everything's going to be okay. Whenever they to rape you and murder you, everything's going to be okay. Just alright, and we are going to live like kings of the world. Don't you worry, you be a 10 piece of a meat. And the reality of this all, for the making the complete control, everybody organized and studying piece by piece, day by day, night by night, day after day, week after week, month after month, night after night, year after year, decade after decade, as whatever to last us, for the making the worst of the manipulations, over the whole of the making, for the nothing to deliver into a truth to be taken, and not giving the sliding feet, for there do not fall and lose. No reality and no truth to be shown ever, and nobody to find out nothing, and whoever to know, kill it. The model of Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner, Aníbal Fernández and Nestor Kirchner. Profundizing, making more genocide. More of this. And replacing every good person for any shit around. So suddenly the reality of this came on being this, that suddenly came also the reality that I never were, like any one of my friends, called for no making no testimony of the truth, and be taken like the possibility of there to be the doubt benefit. Argentinian law. We know what we do. We are government. I never were called for there. I do not speak no English, no read no English, no write no English, no making no poetry, no making no videos, no making no singing, no making no nothing like any one of my friends about them skills and them capacities, saying that we stole and forged. And the whole of the truth to be reason, and the whole of the testimony in flesh and bonds to be murdered. This is the model of Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner and Nestor Kirchner. Abomination. And this is what we are suffering. So I gotta be expecting today for the disgusting, disgraced Sodoma shit to come with an ambulance and a damn shit of a Sodoma patrol to saying you gotta remain internated because of wicked men, and because of the government needs to do what they gotta do, because of you're the falling stone in the middle of the way. And also we gotta shut down your accounts because of everything is so offensive and criminal. You're stealing it all, and we are right, of course. And I want to kill them all, and I want to put them all in hell where they belong and where they go. And this is enough. I am not going to become a murderer, but I'm going to make my effort for this disgusting shit to be dead and in the hell. I'm going to set this testimony at this day, ending this video. This is not 20 nothing. This is 11:04 at the morning of this Monday in Buenos Aires, and I don't know what is gonna coming anymore except Adonai to show me. And I am in a violence, and I'm in a rage that I will kill them all myself right immediately. And this is enough.